So super excited about both the guys that we were able to sign. They're big additions to the O-line room, and not just for what they do on the field, but what they bring as individuals and people. And that's a big deal for us, is recruiting the people first. And we talk about being a developmental program, and sometimes people are like, what does that mean? You don't recruit good players? Like, no, the players we recruit are extremely talented, but they're going to have to trust the process and buy in. And that sometimes is hard to do. Lots of times people, instant gratification, want to play right away, or want to be told how great they are. And the two young men we have in this O-line room, they're excited about the work, and they're excited about that blue-collar mentality. So can't wait to get them here. They're going to be here in June in the summer. None of them are going to be early enrollees. So Tayo is a big-time track athlete, so he was super explosive and was one of the top shot putters in the state of Arizona. He came up unofficial. I had a chance to meet him and his parents, and they kind of fell in love with Boise and this place. So he's really, really exciting. He's going to be an interior guy. He's a high academic guy, so we're hoping that he can possibly be a center. He's never taken a snap yet, so hoping that he'll develop in that role. And then Greg is the other young man from the state of Arizona who, again, we saw him in spring. We're super excited about him. He's a guy, he took one official visit in June, but he was focused on being the best player he could be for his team. So he didn't get caught up in the recruiting hype, and kind of went through the process, and some schools weren't as diligent, kind of fell off on him, and we kind of stuck with him through the whole process. So feel very, very fortunate to have him joining our football family as well.
Do you feel good with what you have? I know with Cade leaving at right tackle, some people said maybe that's a spot you guys could look in the transfer portal. I mean, is that, if you can find somebody out there, is that something you're looking at, or do you feel good with what you have coming back?
I think it's like a philosophical thing here for us at Boise State, is we are going to use the transfer portal specifically to improve the roster. We're not just going to go out there and have that be kind of a supplement for recruiting and developing guys. So yeah, like if there is an offensive lineman that fits culturally and fits the room and has the right mentality, we'll definitely look at bringing in someone at that tackle spot.
How excited are you just to I know you just finished a game a couple days ago, but with the group you do have coming back, and just knowing that with the experience they got this year, I mean, you got to be pretty fired up for your group for next year.
Yeah, very excited. And those guys are extremely fun to work with. That's the most thing for me that gets me the most energized, is like, just I know how hard those guys are going to work this offseason and how much they've already bought in. So they challenge me, like, okay, what can I do to make sure I'm pushing them to be their best? And that's where they're a really, really fun group. And a lot of guys have got some playing time, some good experience. They've got a couple young guys that are hungry and chomping at the bit. So it'll be a really, really fun, competitive winter.
And what about for you, getting the 2-year deal to come back? I mean, was that a no-brainer for you to want to come back with this group? Did you have any other interest from other places, or what was kind of your thoughts?
Boise is one of those special places, and there's not too many places in the country that just are like the total package where it comes to high-level football, great community, great town, really good, fun players. So it's like, I'm really, really excited and really thankful to be able to be back here. My family loves Boise, and this community is awesome. So we couldn't be more and more excited to be back on the blue.
It feels like the O-line coach is the easiest one to criticize, never gets a lot of credit a lot of times. I mean, this time last year, people would have been to get rid of Keane, whatever. And then a year later, everyone thought, he's the one guy we can't lose. I mean, I guess it's just how it works, right? But do you feel pretty good about just the development and these continuing to get guys and start to get your guys in the program here, and just kind of continue to kind of get this thing rolling to the standard, on a yearly basis, what we saw this year?
Yeah, and 100%. And like as you are integrated in the program, it just becomes more efficient. You're able to onboard players and get them to buy in a little quicker. But we had good players here too. Like, I mean, we got Garrett Kern and Ben Dooley. Those guys were here and were really talented players and played a lot of football for us. So it's we have a great room, and I'm really, really excited to coach those guys, because you can coach them hard and you can set the standard really, really high, and they're going to do everything possible to meet that standard. So I got a little chip on my shoulder knowing, like, hey, if I don't do a good enough job this off season, they're not going to be ready to meet their potential in the fall. So it's a fun challenge. Even in January 7th is like, how are we going to find a way to continue to push the guys and continue to make them better?
And you are expecting Ben to be back?
That's the hope. That's the hope, is him coming back.